Today we have Duke Nguyen, who is the founder of their NFT protocol, presenting his venture in that he's developed and accelerated through the BNB chain and Infium Founders Academy. Welcome, Duke.
Yeah, hi everyone. Okay, so today I will introduce about the NFT protocol, the NFT 2.0 for a true Web3 game and open metaverse. Um, s- so we have learned a lot from the first generation of NFT game called Play to Earn, both from bad and good sides. They often require users to pay big upfront cost to start the game, and also require users to buy crypto using wallet, which is a high barrier for the people who only want to play the game. So there is no true ownership because the NFT stores nothing except the ID and owner. All metadata is stored on centralized server of the game. It means when the game shut down, the NFT itself shows nothing. And from game studio point of view, issuing fungible token is just a burden because it's really hard to control the tokenomics. And at the good side, we can see that the NFT enables revenues from secondary market for game studios through marketplace fee or royalty, and ordinary players can monetize and retail investors can join. Finally, a new distribution and development method could through community could save a lot of cost. And so at the fact two, we on the hand, we over the last few years, Web2 games are facing some big problem, which is written on the left. Game studios want something that helps them increase player base, lowering cost of acquisition and development, a new way to make money, and but it must be a sustainable model, not like play to earn, which is a Ponzi scheme. And so we propose a model called free to own, which is a combination of free to play and blockchain. The customer journey has four stages. At the first and second stage, people come to play game for free, as in play for free to play and own NFT for free as well. Some of them don't know they are actually playing NFT game, and at the third stage, they can benefit royalty from secondary market of NFT trading, and other DApps can customize and build utility for the NFT permissionlessly. So the NFT can also be used in many games and DApps. The model can totally solve all play to earn problem and very friendly to players and studios, as you can see in the slide. Especially, we believe without fungible token, NFT game still can still make true Web3 economics. And so we to implement the free to own model, we propose the novel NFT 2.0 protocol, which has three main characteristics. The first one is dynamic. The metadata is stored on chain and can be updated because game items change over time, so the NFT should be dynamic. And the second is composable, means the NFT can be used in a game and can be used in another games or verse as well. This makes the NFT lives in the open metaverse. And the third one is derivative, means NFT can generate new derivative NFT, which bring some of the original utilities within a time frame. For example, the original NFT can be used in verse A and verse B. Then it can generate new NFT A and NFT B, which can respectively use in verse A and verse B. Each NFT can be given to different owners until expiration. And there's a lot of use case for NFT 2.0, at least 12 for now. And the first one is in-house metaverse. One studios often has many games. If they can let new games use the NFT from the existing one, then they can both save acquisition costs and keep loyalty of users. The second one is tournament in the metaverse. The NFT now can move between different games, opening up possibilities for intergame tournaments. Like in Thailand, players can bring along the NFTs between games to increase their achievement. Anyone can be tournament host and monetized by open registration for everyone with just $5, for example, and only have to give prize to the best 3 players. Game attract more users and retention without spending any cost. And the third is rental NFT. If game use NFT 2.0, they can enable rental economics right away without implementing it in the game. And the NFT owner can lease NFT for another players without risk of losing the NFT, and player can rent the NFT with a small amount of money. And the fourth is UGC NFT. NFT 2.0 can also make UGC simple through the NFT. Users can update metadata to the NFT, and games reflect that metadata to the game environment. And there are also a lot of another use case for like communities, DAOs, guilds, but maybe I will move to the next because it's very long. And if you want, I will come back later. So because blockchain is still very hard for traditional Web2 system to access. So we built we built a product suite to help them to access to the protocol, because as I see, game traditional Web2 game still have some problems, which are no they lack they must spend big cost. It's time consuming, and there's security is risk of smart contract, and the NFT is non-integrity, and they lack of Web3 expertise. So we propose solutions for games so that they can turn their Web2 game to Web3 with the 10x cheaper price and 10x faster, and with security audit and integrity and sustainable Web3 game business model. And so we built the product suite include SDK to mean burn update NFT without blockchain coding. It means you don't have to hire blockchain developers. Game developer can access to the protocol through RESTful APIs or native SDK. Currently, we are supporting SDK in Unity, Node.js, and Java. And we also provide ready-to-use non-custodial launchpad service called Deploy and the business console attaching to that, so that you have full control of your assets and information while providing service to your users. There's a lot of launchpad service right now in the market, but most of them are custodial launchpad. It means you have to give them your token, your NFT to sell to the communities. But our launchpad are very different. It's very different. It's give you the full control because it's non-custodial, and you can also provide your information and your events to your end users as well. And the NFT 2 market is the first marketplace that fully supports NFT 2.0 in displaying on-chain metadata and make rental economics possible. Though NFT 2.0 is fully compatible to ERC 721, but it means you can list the NFT 2.0 in any existing marketplace like OpenSea or Rarible. But to fully display the metadata and the functionality of NFT 2.0, you need to use NFT 2 market. And the last one in our product suite is NFT to scan. It's like Etherscan, a public service for scanning through the protocol and help creators to mint NFT 2.0 with UI. It's like manifold for NFT 2.0. So and about because NFC game is the futures, and the market is growing very fast. So we are not the only provider in this field, but we are the best in delivering full package solutions that a Web2 game need to transform to Web3 with relatively cheap price and less time consuming. And so you can see here some NFT protocol providers like Luxo, NFT, all our protocol, Double Protocol, RMRK, and the NFT. And for in the Web3 game hub segments, we also have another competitors. The biggest one is now is NGUYEN and Magic Eden. And in the Web3 game infra, there's even bigger players, which is NGUYEN Sequence Externity Status. They has raised many like many millions dollars, but at the end of the day, they cannot help you to they cannot help your NFT to be dynamic or be able to talk with another NFT. They are just the solution, generic solutions that help you access to blockchain, deploy the NFT without blockchain coding, but they cannot have they are not protocol. So if you use your this game infra, Web3 game infra, you still have to work a lot to make your NFT to be dynamic, composable. Okay, so that's my BD pitch for game. Any questions or any comments? Feel free to ask me.
Can you go back to your 12 ways that you can use the platform? Let's go through that really. By the way, very good presentation, beautiful slides, very clear. We have to, I think through the overall message of this because it's in a very, very competitive market. Okay. So we'll have to just think through that. So if you walk me through the 12 options for business model enhancement, I may come up with something that, positions you out of all that competitive environment.
You mean you want to hear more about?
So look, when you go to lazy build, right? DAOs or guilds or creators can just mint NFT collection without worrying about utility. I would just take that out. I would just say they can create, they can automatically mint NFT collection. Everybody has to worry about utility of NFTs. So I just take that out right now.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like as if we don't know. Yeah, I think what we don't know about this is they should worry about that utility, even though they can just do a drop. So another drops in games can build utility and write metadata. And then you can keep that. You can say it just launches the NFT collection, and then subsequently you can work through building utility into that collection, etc. So, you see what I'm saying? So that's basically just allowing you to do an NFT drop automatic, kind of drops, and then subsequent drops with utility. I think that's great. The DAO voting should not be the problem of having a lot of capital, but it should be the only one which really owns the community value, the NFT. So you can say here you're basically creating DAO voting that's more merit based.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think basically, I think DAO in the future DAO will use mostly use NFC to make activities, and also the using NFC to let to vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, not capital, because
Yeah.
you buy the capital easily from the open market, but you rarely can buy NFT easily. So the people who own the NFT from the first day make more sense to the communities rather than the later one come join and buy it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Then community proof of contribution. Yeah, that's perfect. Selective airdrops. I think go to the page 2 when you get a chance. Okay, returnable marketplace. Okay. On-chain crafting. You didn't put staking anywhere, did you?
Sorry.
You didn't put this whole staking of NFTs option
Staking NFT? No.
No, okay. Because there's a whole set of companies that are allowing you to stake your NFT and get, crypto for it. Okay. Or allow you to trade, crypto and while this thing is staked. Okay, so what I would do, I would separate these 12. Let's look at the last one. Instead of just use case 1, use case 2, use case 3, I would separate them by, if you're NFT, if you're just doing a drop of NFTs and you want to manage the drop and the utility surrounding these drops, category 1, right? If you're using it to, do, financial transactions like a rental, staking, maybe things like that, that would be the second group. You're using NFTs for some form of a financial transaction. And then maybe the third group would be how do you use NFTs to enhance community creation, management. You have to kind of group it in ways that people can grasp with a slide.
Like by categories.
Yeah, right? Create some sort of a category that makes sense. So if I am going to invest in this, I know that if one of my other companies is working with 20 brands that just want to do NFT drops with some utility and, some monetization for the community, that I can use the platform. But if I have another group that's just all gamers and they need more revenue, then I can use this platform. So you have to almost group it by categories of people that are or companies that are going to use this platform and why.
Yeah, I also think about that, but because their use case that can be used in like in both in
Yeah.
like both games and communities.
Yeah.
So
See if you
how
can group it. I'll have to think about it. Let me look at it, see if I come up with some groupings. Right. I can't like on the spot here because I haven't seen all 12, in depth, but there is definitely a way of grouping this so that when someone looks at four of them in the slide and says, oh, wow, this solves so many NFT drops problems, or this solves so many potential NFTs applications in games problem, right? That kind of a grouping, I think.
actually I am grouping them, trying to grouping them because you can see that in the use case one, most of them, all of them are for games, and the second is for communities. Uh, yeah, if you can see that, but it's
Okay,
really hard
it there.
to
Okay,
see it at the first glance.
okay. So some are basically just for the drops, NFT drops related to games. Some are for community management related to games, and some are for, additional revenue generation related to games. And that's your grouping, whatever the groups are, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
just group them into 3 slides with a title as to what that particular group does. Because right now, you have thought of everything and you have put everything in this. It looks awesome, but there's just too much of it to process by another human being who
yeah,
doesn't live inside your head. And so we're
yeah,
just trying to simplify this, like create chicken McNuggets of this for people who are, not familiar with every in and out of this platform.
yeah. I got it.
Yeah, it's beautifully done. I love everything you're doing here. Needs to be done. You thought of everything. The second problem that you're facing, can you go back to the first slide to your title page?
Title page
Yeah. So,
here.
okay, when we were at Consensus last week, this kind of was just shocking to me. I had no idea. Virtually everyone in these VC meetings that was talking to me, or maybe that's just a sample of companies I got in front of, had some sort of an NFT management platform. And literally, like all these startups, they were nowhere near where you are, but they somehow had another NFT management, protocol platform, etc. So you have to think through a way of repositioning yourself just slightly differently than what you have here. And I understand you're a gamer, and I understand this is all about games, and that's fine because VCs are investing in Web3 games platforms and protocols for the metaverse. They are because Miko talked about it on, I think, on Wednesday. You should listen to his presentation. He's very bullish on Web3 games development, for the metaverse because he feels that's what's working in the metaverse at the moment. So it's good to have these kinds of platforms, but we have to, I think, create a name for it that's a little different than just another NFT protocol or NFT management platform. So
Mm,
think about what are you actually solving for the web, how are you creating this Web3 experience that's different from what exists in the $180 billion market? And you're missing a market slide, by the way. I don't think you have the size of the market.
market size. The market size. I because this is the actually this is a BD pitch for game, so
Yeah.
it's on to persuade game, to convince game to use our protocol.
Okay.
Actually it's not for VC.
Okay, but
Actually,
even for them, you should put the market slide in, even for the BD pitch, because when you go to a Web2 studio, you're saying, hey, look, you're inside a $180 billion market. You're
yeah.
facing all these issues. Okay.
I try to put it here
Okay.
for BD pitch. I try
Okay,
to
so you didn't address it then. So you talked about what makes games stagnant and what game studios want, but you didn't say, in a market that's 180 billion today and growing to, 211. That's only a 3% increase. So therefore, that's not a very fast growing market where, on the Web3 side, the market's exploding. And it's exploding because it's answering all these issues. See what I'm saying? You have to weave that into the presentation because I missed it. And I followed like very carefully what you were saying.
Yeah, okay. But I forgot to talk about the
Okay.
potentials.
Yeah. No, that's good. You have the market slide. It's also deceiving when you say on 180 billion, you have a 3% growth, but on a, few million or a billion, whatever it is today, you have a 43% growth. And maybe you should point out, the market's somewhat small in 2023, whatever, however many billion that is, that first line, I wasn't sure how many billion it is. And maybe you put a number for 2023 so they know what it is, or 2022, whatever
Yeah.
the market is today. Just like you put the numbers on the other ones. But it's beautifully done. I'm not complaining about the look and feel of this. It's as well laid out as one thing can be. These are just minor adjustments. So we don't get silly questions from investors, you know what I mean? Okay,
Yeah.
let's see okay, go to the next slide for a second. Okay, and one more. Let's look. Solution looks good. Okay, so keep going to the next one. Solution, dynamic compostable derivative. I like that too. Okay, one more step. Okay, so we're gonna go with this. For Tuesday, the 23rd, you do need the investor slides in it. So send me a version I can read that has investor slides, unless you want to present again next week, which you're welcome to. We have, 4 days to finish all the presentations next week. So feel free to let me know if you're available to present the investor presentation. And then
Yeah.
we have a week break, and then we have the pitch.
Okay. I will do the VC pitch for next week.
Okay. Okay, so let me know which one of the 3 time slots and we can pick that later. I think it's so well done, but when you come to the feature, go back to the last slide of the competitive slides. That's just Lisa has a competitive slide that I would use to replace this. I'll have her put it up for you so you can see. It's a different graphic. It shows a very competitive marketplace with all these different companies, and her company's in the core, in the center of it, because she solves all these different features and issues like you. So let me so I'm liking this. You have to think through just have to think through how to position it slightly differently than just an NFT, end-to-end solution marketplace type thing, because there's so many of them out there. Some of the investors will just get turned off by hearing that, which is it's a shame because of everything that you guys have built. It's just amazing.